Hey, what's happening, guys? Pitori Mahlangeng. You know what it is. You know what it means. Welcome back to my channel. You know, I always say Wana Pitori Mahlangeng, but today we actually in Pretoria, guys. So Shangube. I'm actually here at TUTFM about to do an interview on the network with Kgopotso Chawane. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm taking you guys with me. Hurrying!
Character of a female. Actually, her name is Lebohang Lebza Dlamini, who is a sound and lighting technician, event coordinator, and a part-time YouTuber. Now, on this part of the show, we will be taking you back on time and on some of the mostly historically recorded women, and as I have read, actually have paved the way for such up and coming, aspiring, interesting women to look up for, and one of them is Lebohang Lebza Dlamini, and let's just tune her mic on. Say hello.
Hello, guys.
How awesome is it having you here?
I'm so used to YouTube. I'm doing hello, guys. Good evening out to our listeners. Thank you for having me.
It is an honor. Now, having sat here for the better part of the show, and I've read through some of the most iconic women in history who has made it possible for young black women such as yourselves and other women of color as well to actually, find a space of their own in the world to own up and take up. How has that been, having heard some of this, basic women, who are the same as you, difference is they existed long before you did. How has that been for you so far?
No, I'm actually still shocked that you mentioning me with those women. I mean, really?
I'm prophesying.
Iconic women to look up to. I think, you said that it's black women in history who probably we didn't see in history books. I think, when Zosi Bini said that we need to teach young girls leadership. I think we were not taught leadership from school. Each and every textbook that I read, it was about a man who did this, a hero who fought for us, and like we didn't hear much about women. So I think that came from that, to say that's why young girls were not taught leadership. And to hear about these women, I mean, I think it's inspiring, and it makes me to want to push more, because I'm already in that lane. I am pushing hard. I'm kicking all the doors. I think there is nothing impossible as long as, you just go for it. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a male.
So also tell us about the kind of work that you do, the kind of space that you find yourself in. I can imagine that being in the sound and lighting industry, I look at it from a perspective of a musician, how demanding that is, and how it has for long been perceived to be a career or a profession that is aimed for just male, because it is perceived to be so demanding in terms of heavy weighting, lifting, and all of those things. How what were you thinking, going for that? Let's just start there. What were you thinking?
I don't know. I just thought I'm a hero and I can do what males do. I always had this thing that there is nothing that I cannot do because I'm a female, because I'm a woman. You know what I mean? So when I got into this industry, it was intentional. It was not by mistake. I actually went to Chawane University of Technology, and I studied entertainment technology, which I specialized in sound and lighting. So that's where it started for me. It actually was intentional. It didn't just happen. I just want to make that clear, because you find people saying, so you actually went to school for this. This is actually what you wanted to do. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What was your question again?
What were you thinking?
Yeah, as I said, I just thought, you know what, there is nothing that I cannot do. I knew that it's a male-dominated industry, but I thought, you know what, there is absolutely nothing I cannot do. That's what I was thinking.
So in terms of the decision to venture into such a predominantly, if not a super dominated male industry, what was your motivational base? I mean, who do you draw inspiration from? What I mean, this is a very unusual
Yeah.
career for a woman.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not sounding like a male chauvinist by saying that.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to paint a societal picture with regards to such a profession and a career. What was your motivational base?
Actually, there was no one that I knew that had studied what I studied.
Interesting.
It was something that I like. I always wanted to be in the entertainment industry, but I didn't want to go into acting and presenting as yet. Yes, I do that now, but I wanted to go behind the scenes. So I wanted to go into production and putting an event together, from your sound, your technical. So I'm very passionate about putting an event together. But then I wanted to go from behind the scenes. So what is actually motivating me right now is that after I chose this career, there were a lot of women that knew me, like young girls who came after me to say, I actually want to study that course that you studied. What do you call it? Like, where I come from, it was unusual. We didn't know about it until I actually went to study entertainment technology, specializing in sound and lighting. And now I have like 10 people, if not 15, who actually took the same path as me, because I did that, and they saw that it's actually not a male dominated industry.
No,
I mean, not an impossible industry for women
to be existing in.
Yes,
Now, take me
absolutely.
through the learning phases. Let's just take a journey down memory lane into the classroom.
Yeah.
So what was your first day in class like? Were you able to actually what is the word I'm looking for? Pick up certain other negative energy levels from boys within the classroom? What was the attitude like in the class towards
Okay,
girls?
let me start here. Let me start by explaining the course, like the entertainment technology at TUT, right? So you get there, for your first day, for your first year, you do like 14 subjects, right? I mean, for the first 6 months, you do 14 subjects. Now those subjects are, what do you call it, into 3 sections. So there is your painting and decor stuff, where you can work on productions but become a painter, or someone who does decor. And then there's makeup and dressing, whatnot, where you can work at wardrobe and makeup and things. And then there's sound and lighting. So they make you do all those things for 6 months.
Okay.
And then after 6 months, now you get to choose which one you go to. Now, all the girls will probably go to your makeup and your dress, whatnot, and your paintings. And I think after the 6 months, when we went to class, it was only 3 girls in the class. So now that's when the sound and lighting class starts. So there was like 3 girls in the class, and it was all males. And I can tell you this, it was hard. It was very hard, from the working hours, from the clothes that you have to wear. I mean, I used to, do you see how skinny I am? For those who don't know, guys, I am extremely skinny. And
She said it, not me. She said it,
I
not
had
me.
to put on this huge boots and black clothes and things like that. So from there, like, it was just so hard. And every time you had to go on production, because while you're still studying, you do productions, you go to theater, you work long hours. You had to push.
Now, let's talk about also the most biggest production you ever had to work
Oh my
on
God.
in your life. It is still very fresh, and
is.
I've seen just how emotional you were about it, even on social media.
Yeah.
The Fill Up, where was it?
Philip Royal Bafokeng.
Fill Up Royal
Yeah.
Bafokeng
Amazing.
event
Amazing.
by the renowned Casper Nyovest.
Yes.
You were when they take us through the selection process from the company that you work for, when it came down to your name, what is that like?
Yo. You know what? I don't want to sound spiritual, but it was just God. You know what I mean? Let me just take you back to my the process of my career. I mean, I've been in this career for like 5 years.
Okay.
I finished school in 2014. 13, 14. Yeah. So I've been in this industry for 5 years, and I have constantly trying to prove myself to males that I can actually do this, where you are given the back seat all the time because you're a woman, where they rather take a male because we'll be working long hours, and you can't make it because you're a woman, we'll be picking up speakers and stages. So there, it's always like that. They rather take
Even I as a male cannot do
yeah.
such.
So I had to always say, guys, I can pick up a speaker. Let me show you that I can do it. We've done festivals, we've done Grahamstown, we've done this I don't know how to pronounce it. Festival. We've done a lot of things. So I'm trying to tell you that I have constantly trying to prove myself in this industry, that just because I'm a female doesn't mean that I cannot do it. So a male is always given the front seat before you. So for me, that's why Royal Bafokeng was such a big deal for me. It was I don't even know how to explain it. It was amazing for me to be given that opportunity. Well, we were hired by a company called Bridge Entertainment, a company that represents Casper Vest.
Okay.
So I was not even hired from the company that I work for. I was hired as me.
Wow.
Yeah. So they hired Lebogang Dlamini to
In your
be,
capacity.
yes, to
Wow.
be part of that production. So when we got there, we were I was actually supposed to be doing sound at the back with the sound guys, where I had to just mic artists, help mic artists. So they had said that, no, we'll give you like a, because you're a woman. They didn't say that, but it's always like that,
the
where,
attitude.
yeah, good to, you know what, oh, you'll just mic them, you'll just help, you'll just run and get this and get that. But as we started on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as we were preparing for the show, I think they saw the potential in me, and then they were able to give me that opportunity to actually be part of stage managing Casper's show. So I was not supposed to be doing that. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that I went there to be a stage sound person who helps mic people and stuff like that. And I ended up with the whole production thingy, running the whole production. I mean, we started at 1 o'clock up until midnight, I think. And I was the one who was taking artists in and out. You go on stage, you come out, you get mic'd, you go there. And I killed it.
Well, now let's talk about, you touched on a very critical point where you said that oftentimes when you started early in your career, what you had to do was to constantly prove yourself.
Yeah.
What was the driving force behind it? And I can imagine that being frowned on could be very, heartbreaking at times. It can actually, drain you as a person. Can get, at some stage you might even feel inadequate. You might actually even believe such
I am.
So
I mean, there were nights where I would call my mom and be like, Mama, I cannot do this. Like, I should just go do computer something somewhere. Like, you get comments like, why are you not at the office? You should actually be at the office typing things. You can't be here. I would get comments like, you can't be picking up speakers. You won't be able to have babies. This is a man's job. Things like that. I mean, they are very, very heartbreaking. But I think the key is to believe in yourself and believe that you can do anything. And I mean anything that you put your mind to. As long as you believe that you can do it, work on it, and you will do it. I think that for me, that was the driving force behind me not giving up. Because I could have easily given up.
You could.
Yeah.
So tell the young girls out there who could not unfortunately make it to Casper's show. I saw somewhere there you at some point, I mean, you were calling the shots basically.
Amazing.
You were telling, the most powerful artists in South Africa what to do, when to do it, what they cannot do. You would even drag them off stage to say, your time is up.
Get out.
How was the power like for you?
How can I say it? It was amazing. I also want to give a shout out to Bonolo, which was the other stage manager. I mean, I think we need more males like him who are able to say, you know what, take this, let's run this show together. Not someone, because oftentimes you get someone who's a male and who's at the same position as you and will say, no, you just follow me, I'll tell you what to do or whatever. But when all of us like, Libs, this is how the show must go, whatever you think we should do, I'm here, tell me and let's do it. And then he said to me, you know what, there were times where I felt like I'm going to have a panic attack and you were here, I didn't want you to leave my side because you had this
Calming.
yeah
The natural woman thing, you know.
I think
What is this? The calming nature.
yeah. So
Okay.
the I don't think it was the power that was amazing. I think for me it was the 5, you know,
recognition.
yeah, the 5 years that I've been in the industry, and I felt like, oh my god, finally. For me it was like, finally.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I can imagine it was one other leap to say, you know, girl, you can
I
do
can do
any.
more.
Black girl,
Yeah,
you can
I
do
can do more.
you can do more. It is exactly 8 o'clock on the dot, and you are still tuned into the network with Kgopotso Seth Chawane right here on TUT FM 96.2, your ultimate dial. When we come back, we're gonna talk more with this amazing, vibrant woman who is in a very, 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 very different industry altogether, the sound and lighting industry. We're just gonna take a quick song to remind all the independent women out there in the world that you can do it. What Destiny's Child saying, independent women. Enjoy. When we come back, we'll be right back.
Oh, your Maui is
Lucy Lou, with my girl Drew.
I think the most important thing we should be teaching the young girls today is leadership. It's
Such words from another woman. How does that, you know, how do you resonate? How does that resonate within you? What does it do to you?
Yo, for me, when I heard her say this, I felt like,
I mean, I was touched. I'm not even a woman.
you
I was
know-
like, I want to also take up space.
let me take my space. I felt like I know her. I felt like
She understands you.
she understands me. I felt like she's representing me so well. I felt like we actually had this conversation, me and her, because, well, we didn't. I'm not saying that, but I felt her. I understood her very well, because even before this was said, or even before she won this, I've always been about, those who follow me on my social media know this, that I've always been about girl empowerment, woman empowerment, letting young girls know that it is not impossible. So when she said that, you know what, we need to be teaching young girls leadership and taking up space and cementing us, for me it's who I am, it's what I do on a daily basis. People who follow me know that very well. So I felt like she's representing me so well as a South African
Also, at
young
some
girl.
point, she. If you've just joined us, and unfortunately you've missed out on an incredible talk with the great Lebohang Lebza Dlamini, and the part of the show tonight we were talking about girl power. We were shedding light and shining, giving them the spotlight to actually recognize women and the fact that they are intelligent and capable of doing any and everything that even males can do. And we spoke a little bit on some of the challenges that women face in some of this male-dominated, or rather what I call male chauvinistic industries, which often look down on women and don't recognize their intelligence. It is exactly 56 minutes past the hour 8, and like I said, Marvin is already here trying to kick me out of the studio because he wants to take you from one level of glory to another with the evening cruise. But before we hand it over to him, Lebza, what are your closing remarks, and what can you say to the girl child out there who has self-doubt and then who's been made to believe that she's incapable of being?
I would just love to say that, you know what, the people who know me and who follow me on social media call me Boss Ma. And I always say that I became a boss because I made a decision to become a boss. It didn't just happen. You have to stand up and make that decision that, you know what, no matter what happens, I am a boss and I'm going to go for everything that I believe that I deserve. So I want to say to young girls who are sitting at home, go for it. It's never too late. Doesn't matter if you have kids. Doesn't matter if you think you, even not young girls, older women as well, it's neither too late. Just go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.